What's up, day drinkers, and welcome to another episode of Most Likely to Day Drink. I am your girl, Keita, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Love Lady.
Sir.
We didn't get that your famous intro. I'm happy about that. And Terrence.
Hello.
So, on this podcast, as you know, we sip slow with culture convo. And to get started, we're going to find out what everybody's sipping on. So, Terrence, why don't you go first and tell us what you're sipping on?
I would be happy to. I am having myself a whiskey sour this evening. Made with
Wow, that glass is full.
That glass is very, very full. Yes.
It's really full.
Full glass for full conversation.
Oh man.
All right, Love Lady. Is your glass just as full as Terrence?
No, I'm about to pour mine now. It's Cooper's Craft whiskey bourbon. So that's what I'll be doing.
Neat as always. Well, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm gonna sip on a glass of Riesling today.
Very nice. Very
Try
nice.
not to do anything too heavy.
Okay.
So, how's everybody's New Year going so far?
Fantastically well.
Really?
Busy. It's
Busy?
Busy. But all in a good way. So a lot of momentum going into the year. Even though 2020 was, of course, had its challenges and what have you, there's a lot of positivity and momentum that we got going. So hoping to just keep it rolling.
Right. Well, in the spirit of learning from 2020 and keeping it rolling with positivity and growth and changes, I saw something. As always, I'm always snooping around on Instagram, and I saw this post that I thought would make for an interesting discussion and would help us dive deeper into ourselves. It was 10 questions to find your best self. So we're going to go through these questions. We're each going to answer them. Some will just give like a little quick answer. Some we may kind of dive deeper into. But let's start with the first one. What do I love about myself? Who wants to go first and answer that one? Do we love anything about ourselves? Of course we do. Of course we do.
I mean, I'm the phenom, so that's kind of how I look at it. But
you love everything. It'd be easier if you tell us.
The shorter statement is what's not to love.
Can we just choose one?
Lord Jesus.
What do you got, Terrence?
I love my sense of humor. I think it's what I tend to lead with. I think it's the thing about me that sort of I've seen develop the most over time. I think it's kind of for better or worse, I think it's kind of my safe place. Whenever I don't have anything else to offer, I go to there.
Interesting. So are you going to stick with being a phenom, Love Lady? Is that your final answer?
No. So I enjoy and it's a gift and a curse because actually Kimberly hates it, and it's probably going to be the answer of another question later on. I actually like my sarcasm, which is a part of my humor.
They say if you don't love it, nobody else will. So I guess somebody has to love it.
Something like that.
Waiting on that second person.
But no, it was one of those things where when we were kids, like that's my circle of friends. That's kind of how we communicated with each other. I mean, we had love for each other, but we wouldn't kind of let each other off the hook on certain things. So we would always have like a kind of a snappy remark or quick-witted remark to hit each other back with. So I don't know, it just one of those things that kind of stuck with me because I knew that if I could do that with people, I found my tribe, or that, we could kind of, be cool. So I guess that's why that's one of the reasons why you guys are so near and dear to me. So I can be that and you all not take offense or just be like, put off by it. So
All right.
That
Well,
will give you a little back.
well, you know what I love about myself? I too am a phenom. So I think that's why we get along so well, love lady. But I love my personality. I am a very fun person to be around. I'm usually the common denominator in all of my different groups of friends. One of my friends told me that most times when this particular group, when we all get together, is because of me. Like nobody else really can bring everybody together the way that I do. So I'm learning to take, I'm trying to learn to take compliments and not say, well, I think I'm a fun person. No, I am a fun person to be around. So that's one of the things that I love about myself. Cheers to
your hair
me.
looks nice today. Also,
Thank
just
you. You know what? And this is going to be my go-to because I just don't feel like doing my hair every day. So I'm just gonna rock the twist out. Yeah.
Keeping it low maintenance for 2021.
All right, moving on to question number 2. Where do I want to be in 5 years?
5. You know, I always this question is like the age-old question, like, right? I mean, I feel like I always hear this 5-year question like every year. And
This is that interview question.
Yeah, the interview question, the relationship question, the parent question. Um, and I've gotten to the point where I try not to define it by like a job title um, or like an income bracket, but a more of a state of being. Like I want to be healthy. I want to be thriving in my endeavors. Um, I want to be traveling, and I just want to be around people that um, are happy to be around me and like who I am, and I enjoy who they authentically are.
Terrence, where do you want to be in 5 years?
Kind of along the same lines. I think I just want, in terms of specific things, I don't have things because I don't like to. I think I made a deal with myself, like maybe last year or the year before, that I was going to stop.
I thought you were about to say you made a deal with the devil. I was like, what?
Might have done that too accidentally.
A 5-year plan?
One of these nights, yeah, it's like, look, let's get a few things together. But no, in terms of visualizing specific things or events, you know, there are obviously things that I want that are concrete, but I try not to get to a place where I'm counting on those things to happen, you know. But generally speaking, I would love to be, you know, healthy, happy. Wouldn't mind if the space was still looking tight and right. So maybe that's one concrete thing. And as Will said, I would love to be surrounded by people that not only get me, but they feel like they thrive in my presence and I thrive in theirs.
Healthy, handsome, and happy.
Yes, all the things I am now.
Awesome.
Right. Yes.
Is that up for debate?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. You might want to find a talent other than that sarcasm for that one.
Oh, okay.
Well, mine is pretty similar. I definitely want to be working for myself. I do not want to be punching a clock. I want to have multiple streams of income. I want to make money while I sleep. That is one of my top goals for the next 2 years is to be making money while I sleep. I also want to travel. I'm still kind of iffy on the whole family thing, you know. I'm kind of happy right now, you know. So I'm not too sure about the whole family thing. But Yeah, I definitely, I see myself working for me in the next 5 years. Um, Getting up and doing what I want to do on today versus getting up and having to go to an office or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought about, people think about the 5-year plan and how, you kind of put it in these kind of umbrella terms or broad brush strokes. Can I get broad brush strokes? There you go.
I'm sorry.
Found it out.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your
And
words.
so, but then you have to kind of be mindful of how do you get to whatever that is. Like if, like I said, I want to thrive and, be thriving or what have you, you still have to visualize or take the time to visualize what does that look like for you and kind of, reverse engineer how to get from where you are to that point. So it still takes some effort. It's good to have the the overview of it all, but you still have to put the work in to really craft and vision out what that looks like for you because it looks different for everybody, and then take those daily, hourly, yearly steps towards what that is and how it looks.
That is so true. So true. All right. So moving on to the third question. What are 3 negative mindsets I need to let go of?
Do you want to go first on this one?
I think you'd be a good candidate to start us off, Keita.
Why?
I mean, because you haven't yet. That's all.
Oh
That's
my
the only.
gosh. I love how y'all keep
Good
counts of
say.
who's done what.
That's a
Who's
good
done this?
say.
Hey, I've done this. It's your turn to do this.
Yes.
Y'all need to let go of that negative mindset. That's
That's
what y'all
not
need to do.
That's that
Anywho.
analytical mindset.
It needs to be let go of. Anyway, I think one that I definitely need to let go of is that I'm not enough. In a lot of areas, I feel like I'm not enough. I need to let go of guilt because I have a lot of guilt. I feel like nobody makes mistakes but me. So I need to let go of that, holding on to things that I've done in the past that I still haven't forgiven myself for. I think the third one, I guess I would consider it a negative mindset. Well, yeah, I would consider it a negative mindset is procrastination. And that's putting off things because I feel like I can't do it, even though I want to do it and I want to try. But I feel like, well, I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm just not going to try. Yeah, those are my 3. Not being enough, guilt, and procrastination.
I didn't steal all mine, man.
You should have went first.
That is the benefit. That is the benefit.
See.
Yeah, it's all you, man.
Yeah, very similar. I am obsessed with perfectionism, and it's unattainable. And I realize that, but I cannot seem to stop. And a related theme on that is I need to stop the incessant comparisons between me and other folks. And of course, in a day and age where social media is so predominant, we all make use of social media. We obviously are launching this platform via social media or launching this, podcast via social media. I think it's impossible for you not to look for people that you think are doing better than you. And that can be a good thing, and that it gives you something to aspire to. But what I tend to do is I tend to measure how quickly I think they got there and then look at how quickly I'm moving and draw a negative inference when I am not where I feel like I need to be as compared to where they are in the same amount of time. Another thing I need to let go of is as Keita said, the inability to forgive myself. If I feel like I've done something wrong or someone is mad at me for something, I will beat up on myself 10, 100 times harder than that person ever could. And I tend to internalize that shame or that guilt. And I've never been punished enough. And of course, when you do that, you set up a self-fulfilling prophecy because whatever you think you are is what you're going to do.
Was that 3?
That's true. I believe it.
So I guess my 3, I'll hit one of the ones that I think, Keita, you hit, procrastination. I call it eating the frog. I think there's a book.
Eating the elephant?
No, there's actually one called Eating the Frog. Eat the frog. Like doing a thing you don't like to do the most first, kind of trying to get that out the way so that once you get it done, you have that kind of momentum and sense of accomplishment where everything else is kind of like bam, bam, you kind of knock it out. So they say, you want to eat the frog kind of like the first part of the day. But I struggle with that just because I don't want to do it. It's like, not doing what you need to do so you can do what you want to do is something that I need to get better at. Another one is regret, thinking about what you could have done or how things could have unfolded if you would have gone left or instead of right. So thinking through, having that take up mind space. Of course, at the end of the day, just there is no productivity in that or no gain in that. So, trying to take that out of my life, and then being overly critical of others and not showing gratitude or appreciation for them, especially like it seems like people that are closest to me, I find myself being more critical of than people that are not. And I think it's because in my mind, I know or want more or better for them. So
you expect more from them because you know that they can do more.
Because so it's like so I am critical of them from a place of I know you can do it and I know you can do it even better than what you're doing right now, as opposed to just being like, telling them how well they're doing and allowing them to grow from that place, where they are. So that's something that I think I really need to continue to hone in on and work on.
So that brings up an interesting question. And I wonder if it would be applicable to all of us, given what we just said. Do we all feel like we have a negative mindset of feeling as if we can fix or change or motivate others to do certain things that they're not doing otherwise? Because I feel like I've been that. I feel like I've been that person before.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been in that situation where, I feel like if I say this to them, this will motivate them to do better or be better. And it may come from a place of love, but it comes out or displays itself as, again, being either critical or almost looking down on, or
of course,
some type of attack mode.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been that person, but I think that also ties into being around the right people.
Yeah.
And so let me explain. So when I was back home, I used to always expect for everybody else to want just as much as I wanted out of life, and I was like, you're capable of doing so much more than what you're doing now, but they had no motivation to do any more than what they were doing at the time. They were happy living in their contentment. And it had nothing to do with location. It was just do something other than what you're doing right now. But I had to realize that those were my dreams, not theirs. So
Yeah.
sometimes that kind of goes with, the people that you're hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
Um, you have to realize, these people are not motivated to do anything. So it doesn't matter what you say, what you do, versus being around somebody who they want more, they want to do more. They just kind of need to be motivated or pushed, or that's how you feel. I feel
Yeah.
like you just need to be pushed, but that can come off wrong as well.
Oh,
Like
sure.
we can push until we push them away, versus
Yeah.
letting people do things on their own time.
Yeah. Like, and as a parent, that can actually kind of be tough too, because you have these aspirations for your children,
Yeah.
of being X, Y, and Z, and when they find their own path and it doesn't look like what you envisioned, you have to be okay with that,
Yeah.
and be supportive of that and encourage them to be the best in that field or that path or in that goal that they can be, and not discourage it because it's something that you didn't envision, because it's not your life, it's not your journey to make, not your it's not your passion, um, and you can't live vicariously through them. I know I've seen, uh, I won't say a lot of dads, but I've seen dads that have been star this or star that athletically, and they push their kids in that sport to the point where the kid just because they don't feel like they can be at a point or be be at a level that parent wants them to be, they just give up on the whole thing and throw their hands up and just say the hell with it. um and you never want to push someone to the point where they just you know feel like they aren't enough, or they feel like they can't do it. So yeah, you just got to be careful about that.
All right. So question number 4. How would I describe a perfect day? I am going to go first on this one. Because of COVID, my idea of a perfect day has changed. I
Menu items
used
have
to,
changed.
yes. I mean, I'm a homebody anyway. So
Mhm.
I don't mind, staying at home and spending the weekend in the house. Like that
Mhm.
doesn't bother me. But now I COVID has changed my perfect day, and COVID has changed my love language,
Mm.
because I one of my love languages now is touch, because we can't touch each other. We can't hug, like we can't do anything. And we all have days where we just need a hug. We just need a good embrace from somebody that we love and somebody that we know loves us.
Mm.
So my perfect day would just would involve being able to spend time with one, two special people, friends, and we can be in each other's space without being worried about making each other sick.
Mhm.
Like I want to be
Simple
able
things.
to, if I haven't seen, huh?
Is it the simple things?
Yeah. Like if I haven't seen you in a while, I want to be able to embrace you and give you a hug, but we can't even do that. So my perfect day would be simply just to be able to hug somebody, give them a kiss on the cheek. And if you know me, I'm not a, touchy feely person. I just want to hug somebody. Like,
Let me just put hands on you.
I just want to lay hands on somebody.
Put
Like,
hands on you.
gosh.
Hmm.
Man,
Go ahead, Will.
I think with me, it's really just being around uh friends that I enjoy. Um, uh, Doing this, drinking a whiskey, maybe smoking a cigar, and just uh, shooting the shit with people I like being around. Just as simple as that. People that I can make laugh and they can, make me laugh and just enjoy each other's company.
Yep. But yeah, no, I feel like mine is going to be any situation where I can just lose track of time and I'm not thinking about my obligations, what I need to be doing, what I forgot to do yesterday. Usually that's going to involve food, drink, lots of laughter, probably some inappropriate shit being said. Actually, kind of like the night that we had it backstage. That was close to a perfect moment in time for me.
That was
because it had its own flow. And it sort of took over.
Yep. I would agree. That would if what was the question? Having a great day?
How would you describe a perfect day? Yeah.
Yeah. If a perfect day had its own space and time, that was definitely a microcosm of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like everything from the music, which, the DJ ended up getting on our level at some point.
Okay.
To the chartreuse discussion.
You froze, Terrence. We were like, yeah, you froze.
Oh, no, yeah, my internet connection just got unstable.
Okay.
Oh.
It was so good, I froze. I was just like, I can't even say nothing else for a minute. I'm reliving. Let me have my moment. But yeah, no, everything about that I love it when things take on their own energy. You're not even expecting it, but it just sort of happens. And that to me speaks to the strength of the connection among the people that are actually in the room together. Those things just happen. I've had people comment to me more than once. It's like, you guys look so comfortable with each other. I was like, well, we've been knowing each other since we were zygotes. So I would say that's probably the case.
Take a sip on that one.
Yeah.
Get up in this drink on
that. So question number 5. What do I love doing? Well.
Oh goodness. Well.
Next.
Goodness.
Making macaroni in the pot.
And clean off these glasses, right, chump.
Oh man.
My mom was watching this. I love reading books.
And Bible study.
I love singing hymns. I love giving out food.
Books.
Yeah,
one thing.
I like reading books with pictures. I tell my wife that all the time. I like reading books with pictures. I'm not a big book reader. I can do an audio book, but if I have I read a book with pictures.
If I'm driving, I love sitting down and reading a book as well.
Yeah, I would much rather read the book than to watch the movie. Yeah. Actually, like if a movie comes out that was in book form first, I'll read the book and then I'll go see the movie.
And you'll always be disappointed.
Yeah.
So
it's rare. It's rare that a movie does better than the book.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read the Bridgerton? Is it Bridgerton? Is that how you say it?
No. Is that the name of it?
It's Bridgerton, yeah, but it's a Netflix series. Everybody keeps telling me about it.
Yeah, I haven't.
So Kim actually read the whole series, like I think 10 years ago. Like it's a book series of like a romantic novel series, like way back. So she in terms of the book, she already knows everything about the plot line and everything. But
I'm not a romance novel person.
Yeah, and when she gets into her fictional, she'll do the romance stuff like but she does like the Victorian whatever.
Where it's like I showed my kneecap and dude just went crazy.
Right. The milky bosom.
Had my big toe out today. I'm sure I'll be stoned by midnight.
I know, right? Oh my goodness.
But no, one thing that I actually love that a lot of people think is boring, and I mean I get called a nerd for so many things, just I don't understand. I love jigsaw puzzles.
Mm.
Like the bigger the puzzle, the better. If I
Yeah.
am stressed out, if I'm upset, I will go to the store and buy a jigsaw puzzle. If
Yeah.
you ask my mom, like she'll tell you, I used to glue them to poster boards, and
Oh,
my bedroom wall was covered in jigsaw puzzles.
oh wow.
Hmm.
Like I
Wow.
love jigsaw puzzles, and I think that's why probably why I majored in criminal justice and why I like um um what am I trying to say? Why I used to have an interest in law enforcement and stuff like that because I love like figuring stuff out. You know, I love the whole puzzle piece aspect to
So
everything.
you
Like,
like that Criminal Minds person?
mm, yeah, like I love. I have an obsession with like um old school gangsters. Like when the mafia was really the
Oh
mafia.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know,
Hmm.
like versus these, wannabe gangsters today. Like they had nothing on like the mob man.
So you like Goodfellas kind of,
Yes.
or
One of my
Casino?
Nothing.
instructors, one of my instructors was an ex FBI. He was undercover FBI, like back in the 70s. And he has two different IDs that he showed us. These two IDs and him in person now look like three completely different people.
Wow.
Like he told us some of the stories, of like he used to there was I can't remember who it was, but I remember him telling us about this gangster that gave this other guy, he killed him, but the technique that he used was the necktie. Have
Oh
you ever
yeah,
heard of
like
that? No,
yeah.
I have
Oh,
no.
not. No.
that's the
So he
Colombian
killed
guy.
he killed no he killed him and he pulled his tongue out
Oh,
to hang down like a necktie, and that was the most
out of his
interesting.
mouth. Out of
Huh?
his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the
it's called
Colombian version of that is they slit your throat and bring it through there.
oh no,
Yeah,
he's like,
straight out.
yeah,
Right.
Okay.
that was the most interesting thing to me. I used to sit on the front row just to listen to his stories. Like, I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
it.
I've forgotten what I love because I'm a little scarred, but for me, mine's cooking. Mine's hands down. I do love to read. I love, conversation. I love all that. But cooking is my place I go if I'm feeling happy, sad, whatever. Cooking is just one of those things that brings me to life. And because it was such a big part of my history, it's like I come from one of those families where there's a lot of strong personalities. You're not gonna find too many like quiet mouses in my family. And no matter what, we could argue about anything. We could argue about like what color the sky was that day. But as soon as some food hit the table, especially on Sunday, we were all gonna be on the same page and food was getting passed all the same direction and we're gonna eat good.
Mm.
And by the time you get a few bites in, everybody's gonna love each other again. So that always really stuck with me. And food has just always been communicative to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Um, I really I enjoy traveling. I know. Uh, I think a few years back, especially like when we moved back to Tennessee, um, we had gotten to a place where we really started enjoying. I had an appreciation for experiences over things,
Mhm.
um, especially like during the holidays or what have you. As opposed to exchanging gifts, we got to a place where we would want to travel or we would want to, go somewhere or do something to have a
Yeah.
memory or to have some type of experience. And I think that's something that is really kind of evolved for me, to be able to, travel, to have new experiences, um, learn about people, learn about new places. That's something that I've really come to enjoy.
which actually makes me think, I've heard it said before, and I actually agree with this statement, and I'm curious to hear what the two of you think. I'm pretty sure I know what Will's answer is, but I've heard it said before that, I would rather at this point in my life pay for experiences, meaning that I'm willing to spend more money on an experience than I am a thing. That's
Oh
just
yeah,
sort of
most
something
definitely.
yeah, I feel
Yeah,
the same way.
Definitely. I
I
mean,
feel
you
the
can you
same.
can walk in my apartment and see that I'd rather spend money on an experience than see
Right.
how long it took me to even buy a freaking coffee table.
Listen, you do keep it sparse. I could fall just about anywhere and not hit nothing, and it's cool. I
I
like
mean,
that.
I haven't even, and I am a minimalist, but I'm
Yeah,
also very indecisive.
yeah,
And I think that I want my space a certain way, and then I see something else, or I'm inspired by something else, and I'm like, no, I want it this way. I'm
we are
glad I
so
haven't
alike.
bought anything in 3 years.
Yeah, we're so alike that way. It took me forever to decide. Actually, you and I had the same pillow struggle.
Mm.
And I just want to talk to the world about this for a minute because you see them every day. And there's a lot that goes into selecting pillows. And you and
I'm
I
talking about the
took,
ones on the couch or on the bed.
yes, those ones on the couch. I want you to know, Keita and I probably had at least 2 whole conversations about what pillows she should get. And we went to multiple locations seeking out the perfect
Oh
pillows.
yeah, we did. We went to
We
places
did,
I'd never even
yeah.
been to before.
Exactly. Listen, I was determined to get you some pillows because that's one of the things I feel like I have good vision for other people's spaces, just not my own. But I went through the same thing with mine. It took me I would say it probably took me 3 or 4 months to actually figure out which, because I do the same thing. I see something, I think, oh, that's going to look great in that space. I get it. A month later, I'm over it and I'm ready for something totally different. And I have no problem scrapping things and starting over again.
Mm.
As crazy as that sounds.
So what is the
Yeah.
significance of pillows on couches?
What is?
Like,
I'm sorry. What was that?
significance of pillows on couches? Like, what is that about?
I mean, it makes it look good. It adds
Yeah,
to
it
the
makes the space
aesthetic
look
of the
inviting.
couch. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the space look inviting.
Okay.
Like I love a pillow. Y'all just going pillowless over there?
No. Come on now. Who am I married to? Come on now.
Well, yeah. This is true. This is
It was
true.
me.
Right.
That'd be
All
more
right.
fun.
Listen, if it was just you, it'd be a mattress in the middle of the floor.
My early days, yes.
Okay. With that
Oh,
being
this drink
said,
is
question number 6.
delicious. Mm.
How can I improve my daily routines? I know how I can improve my daily routines by actually getting up and doing shit.
That helps.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I always have a list of things that I'm going to do on a certain day because today I'm going to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
Then I grab a glass of wine and I'm not productive. So just getting up and doing stuff, like doing the things that I say that I'm going to do. That's how I can improve my daily routines.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all kind of have the same idea. Mine is having non-negotiables, which is, I mean, basically what you're saying. There's certain things that I need to be doing every single day. Like I need to be getting up every day, having that glass of water to kickstart my metabolism. I need to have a few moments in meditation or prayer, whatever works for you, just to kind of set my intentions for the day, not necessarily holding on to them because things do change, but just sort of getting my mind on a path. And then I need to decide that there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens in the day that's out of my control, but my mindset about it is always within my control. So I think that for me, that's setting focus. Yeah. And then decide what I'm going to eat for the day. That's always important. My whole day is going to be messed up if I don't know what I'm eating.
Gotta have that.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I will be snapping at your ass by 11:30 if I have not figured out what's going in my mouth. Be quiet. That's power right there when you can make everybody.
So consistency is mine, which I think kind of falls within both of kind of aligns with what you guys were saying. Is just being able to continually do activities, um, over the course of time, even though it may be the same activity, being consistent in it, um, and not really saying, oh, well, this isn't getting me anywhere. I'm out. I'm gonna do something different. Or
Mhm.
just kind of letting it die out, as opposed to, continually sticking with it and chipping away. Um, is something and I'm especially whether it's starting a business or maintaining a business, trying to keep doing those things that may be repetitive or may be redundant, um, and finding new ways to have that energy to keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Those are very good. So number 7, what steps can I take to be the most confident version of myself? Hmm. I have a really good answer for this one. So I feel like I can start hanging around people who aren't as well kept as myself. People who don't comb their hair, maybe people who don't dress as nice, people who have kind of let themselves go. And I feel like that's a good way to like take steps towards being the most confident version of myself.
So you about to start hanging with some hobos? I mean, what are we talking
Tree
about here?
monster.
Like, what are
Oh,
we doing?
oh, listen, Tree Monsters have been getting the most shout outs on this podcast here lately. They're
Hmm.
about to have the best year ever.
You
Yeah,
gonna
they are.
Um,
find you some yuck
yeah.
mouth?
Hmm.
They call you yuck mouth because it don't brush.
I resign. I resign my post. I'm gonna take my drink and go to bed now. Um, that is not at all what I was expecting, ma'am.
Mm.
So kudos to you for keeping it um, surprising. Yeah.
So what are you guys gonna do? Nothing?
Mine, mine is, I mean, mine. This is the same answer from the last one. Just consistency. Like, to be confident in something, you have to feel like you know what you're doing, and to know what you're doing requires you to do it several times in several different scenarios under several situations, so that it's just it's a muscle memory kind of a thing. So yeah, just really, again, going back to consistency.
I think mine is just keeping it real with myself, knowing who I am and what I bring to the table every single day, whether that's, to other people, it looks good, bad, indifferent, just being unapologetically me. And that takes work, you know. Sometimes it takes a lot of acceptance. It takes not regretting things. It takes letting go of the past. A lot of things we've already spoken about. It takes all of that to truly show up as who you are and not letting that be contingent on how people are going to receive it or react to it. So I think that's what I can do.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
And maybe I need to like get around some folks whose mohawks are struggling. I mean, you've inspired me now. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe I need to come up with folks who's, kind of sitting where Will is. And just, yeah. And,
Oh,
Mohawk is a
yeah.
little short. He's got the first step kind of worked
Wow.
out and he's
Okay.
waiting on step 2.
Yeah.
But that's,
Okay.
So
you know
so so
what?
add personal attacks to your answer on number 7.
Listen,
Wow.
listen. I love your little front steps. Your
Well,
little front steps look
maybe
great,
I need
sir.
to be around some folks that with a wax chest.
Oh God. No, sir, this is all natural. This is homegrown, sir.
All right, number 8. What do I want to learn? What do you guys want to learn in 2021? I know what I want to learn in 2021, but I'm going to let you guys answer first.
What do I want to learn?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so. I always measure my what I say when, like people say, what do you want to learn, or what do you want? Some people say, what do you want God to show you, whatever. And
Mhm.
you think about it, or you make that statement not knowing like what it's gonna take to actually, or what you're gonna have to go through to actually, get that lesson.
So
Um,
true. So true.
so like, I always say, I would like to learn patience, but you don't necessarily know what the lesson involved is, for you to actually learn patience. Like, what are you going to actually have to go through in order,
Listen,
in order to like have,
be careful about that prayer for patience. I had
yeah,
somebody correct me on that when I was like 18. They were like, dude, don't do that. Don't do
right,
that. You don't know what you're asking for.
because you could go through, the trials of Job to have to learn that lesson. And do you really want that?
Exactly.
Do you really want that
Exactly.
smoke? So, yeah, man, I just hope that I learn what allows me, to support and grow, my family, and keep us in, a healthy and prosperous situation.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's good. Well, Terrence, did you go already?
I have not.
Okay, go ahead.
So there are there's a concrete thing, there's an abstract thing. The concrete thing is I would love to learn to be an expert shooter this year, but that's gonna take quite a bit of work, and some concrete steps on my part, which I'm committed to doing. The other thing I would love to learn is to let go and accept, and not try to sort of reshape things into a way that I would want them to be, and to just sort of move forward in view of whatever the reality is. But again, as William expertly pointed out, I'm not sure I'm quite ready for all the things that come with requiring you to accept situations as they are. So check back with me on that one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a different approach. I want to actually physically learn something. I've learned a lot of lessons and I'm going to continue to learn lessons.
You're gonna physically learn something?
Yes, I am. I'm not going to be putting things in my mouth while I'm learning this though.
Ah,
Unlike you. So back away from the camera. I want to learn how to play the violin.
very
What?
nice.
Why the
Very
why
nice.
the violin?
I've always loved the violin. That's my favorite musical instrument.
Really?
Yes.
Over the piano? Like,
Mm-hmm.
where's the piano rank?
Mm. I feel like the piano is so common,
Yeah.
so it's not up there. I mean, now kudos to I can't play the piano, so I'm
Right.
not knocking anybody's skills.
Yeah.
But I would love. I mean, the violin is just so powerful. Like when you see somebody playing, when they're really going at, oh,
Mhm.
it's so powerful. I want to
So
learn how to play the
I have a
violin.
question for you. I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of black violins?
Yeah,
I love them. I got to
yeah.
see them live. I got to see them live here a couple of years ago, and blew my mind. Blew my mind. Made me want to play the violin by the time the end of the show was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to learn how to play the violin, and I'm actually seriously considering like trying to figure out how to take lessons this year.
Yeah. So would you want to actually buy a violin for that, or would you just want to rent one and figure out
Oh,
whether
I'd
you
buy
actually?
one. I
Yeah.
would buy one.
Yeah.
What would you name her?
I don't know. I
Very
haven't. I haven't picked a name yet.
Okay.
okay.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that, love lady. But
Okay.
thank you for giving me one more thing to add to my already racing mind.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
Got to keep those things in mind.
All right. So number 9. What makes me smile? I
These Bernie
smile,
memes.
even though it hurts. See, I smile. Who?
These Bernie memes.
Bernie memes.
Bernie memes.
You mean
When he
the Bernie Sanders memes that
Bernie
have been
Sanders memes.
proliferating over the last few days? I'm at the point now where I'm rolling my eyes. I'm just like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Whatever you got on the first day was cool. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kita, what makes you smile? I'm sorry, Will, were you finished?
I guess apparently so. I mean,
No, no, sir. I would
yeah.
never cut a person off who has more to say.
We
Please.
need to go back to the last one. What do I want to learn?
How to be quiet when others are speaking.
Um,
I'm sorry, brother
no,
William. Please continue your testimony.
no, just
He still hasn't learned.
being with friends, and just enjoying the company of people that can laugh and that I can laugh with, you know.
Rainy days make me smile because they're so relaxing.
Like rainy and cloudy, or rainy and
rainy,
sunny?
cloudy, cold, and gloomy.
Yeah.
They're so relaxing. They just make you just want to snuggle up. And I open my patio door every time it rains, and I just lay on the couch and watch the rain. I love it. It makes me
that
smile.
patio does have some magic going on. I don't know what it is, but it really
Yes,
does.
it does.
Harris,
what makes you smile?
A couple things. One is, I don't know, people laughing. People laughing really, really does make me smile, even if I'm not a part of the conversation that's leading to the laughter, whatever's going on. Like, I love that. And I am particularly like drawn to people who have gotten up in age, but are still very joyful and are still very interested in living and being vital and all those things. That makes me smile.
That's a good answer.
I don't know how this is gonna come across, but I love a sassy old person.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love a sassy old person.
Right.
As long as they're not too sassy. Some of them can just be
the ones that know
I don't want mean. Yeah, I don't want mean, but I mean a person who enjoys life, has certain zest about them, and I want to be 80 years old drinking bourbon, talking shit myself. So I consider those folks like people who are laying the groundwork for me.
Yeah, I have an older coworker. She's in her late 70s, and she just says whatever she wants. I love her to death, but sometimes I just have to be like, really? Did you really just say that?
Yeah.
And I've learned, like if I walk by, she'll be like, hey, come here. And I'm like, no, because I don't know what you're going to say. And she knows that I'm not going to come. She just burst out laughing, but she knows that I'm not going to come back. I'm like, no. I can have on a pair of baggy jeans and she'll say, look at you with them tight pants on. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I need a belt to hold them up. Just, yeah.
See, not quite that. For me, it's more a person who has great stories, who's still current and keeping up with things, has their own interests, and isn't just sort of sitting there.
Yeah.
And they're not.
I mean, I'll hold a conversation.
Yeah,
I'll hold a conversation with her until she starts to get too much, and I'm like, okay, I'm going back to my office now.
Yeah, no, we're not looking for that at all.
Yeah,
we're not looking for that at all. I just love people who are continuing to carve out their own space and sort of reinvent themselves. Sort of every few years, and isn't ever learning or sort of seeking to do or to connect with people that have common interests. Like, I think that's what living is all about. Because I think that there are a lot of people, especially probably in our grandparents' generation, our parents' generation, they get to a point and they just start cruising. And they kind of stop. They just kind of stop being interested. They get settled into their routine, and that's all that they do. And I don't really want to do that. So when I see people who sort of depart from that norm, especially who are in our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, it does make me smile.
All right. So last question. What can I do to reach my goals? There's so many things I can do to reach my goals.
I mean, can we just all agree stop bullshitting is probably
the best that should be the universal answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it just goes.
Plays off. Said no days off, no plays off.
Yeah.
No days off, no plays off. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes back to being productive, holding yourself accountable, being consistent.
Yep. I was gonna say consistency.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's about, realizing that there's no step too small, just doing something every day to advance whatever your goals are, no matter. And that way you don't get overwhelmed and say, hey, I need to knock these 17 things out to move this plan forward. It's like, listen, today Today, I'm gonna make my first Facebook post. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'm gonna see how many followers result. The next day, I might make another Facebook post. The day after that, hell, I might get crazy and make 3 of them bitches. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's just I think
Drink is delicious.
the
Excuse me.
the magnitude of the steps, like I think to your point, isn't the thing, but it's the consistency of them. Like,
Absolutely.
If you can commit to be consistent in doing doing those 1 or 2 things, as opposed to saying, well, I'm going to do 12 of them. That may not be sustainable for you, and you find yourself getting frustrated and give up. So yeah, just I think Eric Thomas talked about being consistent in doing what you can commit to doing over and over again. So he doesn't lift weights. He doesn't really, he eats pretty much kind of how he wants, what he wants. But what he does do is, I think, walks like 3 to 6 miles a day. Like he's committed to walking, I think, at least 3 miles a day. And he does that whether he's at the airport, he'll walk the terminal, whatever, waiting on a plane, he'll always do that, and is committed to doing that, every day. And to the point where, he can get other people, some people may not do with resistance training, but he can get his mom or whatever to come walking with him. So, trying to find those things that you can commit to yourself and that you can commit to doing consistently.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I loved going through these questions with you guys.
Yeah.
This is good.
It forced me to actually think of some answers to it, because I'll be honest with you, when you first shot them out, I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. So appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I purposefully actually waited until we shot this to let myself think about it, because I didn't want to overthink it, because I tend to edit and correct myself a lot. And I was like, listen, you're only going to get genuine answers if you answer it in the moment, and there's a pressure on you to not look crazy on camera.
Yeah, I was trying to take a nap before this, and I was like, dang, I haven't even looked at those questions, but I wasn't too worried about it, because I don't like doing things that are rehearsed.
Exactly.
I just want to live in that moment, because you get the most genuine me in that moment.
Absolutely.
So, anywho, we've come to the end of the episode. Yeah. So what we need you guys to do now is to follow us on all of our platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, comment, follow us on Instagram. Most likely the number 2 Day Drink on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook. Twitter.
It's always special. It's going to be at ML2DD on Twitter.
All right. So just follow us on all those platforms, and I'll post these questions in the description box on this video, so that you guys can kind of mull them over yourselves and kind of just take a self-assessment.
Don't forget to turn on your notifications on YouTube after you subscribe, so you can know when the episodes are hitting.
And also engage with us. Tell us what you come up with when you ask yourself these questions, when you ask your group of friends these questions. Give us comments on what you thought about what we came up with. Give us your thoughts. We want to hear from you.
Awesome. So until next time, keep sipping.